Okay, awesome.
Have a seat.
Jesse Rath.
Right.
I was gonna say, I'm like, and now here comes the onslaught.
Hey guys.
Hello. It's so weird seeing you in a different color.
I know.
I'm not gonna lie. It's totally strange. I almost didn't recognize you at all.
Yeah, I could pass for a Macaulay in real life. I want to play my future son.
Yeah,
Like,
that would be a good one.
like grown up, like flash forward.
Is that a foreshadowing? Are you going to play your future son?
I don't know. I pitch everything to Kevin Murphy. I don't get any, I get nothing from him. Last night we were at a party and I pitched like 3 different storylines and he just gave me like strike 1, strike 2.
And you're done.
I've been pitching Power Laces since the pilot. I was like, it's the future. We don't have time to tie our shoes.
Well, in this last night's episode, we got to see people pretending to be cast as men, so you could pretend to be human and
I know.
be yourself.
Yeah, it'd be like in like the Jack Nicholson Batman movie when he's like putting on like the beige colors of makeup. Yeah, that's weird. William Atherton putting on that makeup and he was like getting so into it. Yeah, it's creepy. Yeah, it was funny when we were shooting that scene. Oh, you know what? That's kind of a bit of a spoiler, but
That's okay. None of this is recorded. None of this goes
basically,
online.
okay. When they were shooting the scene with all the alien cosplayers in that place, I was there that day on set. But I was the only real alien there, and so it was like 200 like fake aliens. It was like humans dressing up as poorly as aliens, and I was walking around and they were going like, "Oh, cool costume, man," and I was like, "It's not a costume, it's a real alien." So yeah, it's kind of like mirroring reality a bit. But it's funny because in real life, like I love cosplayers. Like I think they make Comic Con and they make conventions like people walking around dressed up and stuff. But in the world of Defiance, I feel as though it's very taboo. It's
It feels like a mockery.
it's mockery. They're mocking my culture. So I'm not a fan of it. I don't approve.
So you're standing up to your father in this season so far, and where are we going to see that go as the season continues? Are you going to really fight back to him now that he's out of jail and he can actually do more harm?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. I stand up to him when there's a literal cage between us, where I know that he can't hurt me. But then when he actually gets out of the cage, then that kind of frees up. And Alec hates his father, but still loves him. I think deep down inside, there's that moment after he goes and visits him at the prison. He goes back home to Stama, and Stama says, here's his charge blade, take this is yours now, and then there's kind of a moment where Alec goes like, but he's gonna still want it, like when he comes home, right? Like he's coming back, right? And she's like, no, you dumb little kid.
That was so hard to watch. I was like, oh.
I know, and so I think there's a part of him who, like a lot of kids out there, they buck with their parents, right? When their parents tell them not to do something, they want to kind of like resist that in a sense, but at the same time, he wants the approval and respect of his father, so he wishes that his father could just like stop being this crazy lunatic that he is and just be like a dad. And I think that's what he wants deep down, is his father's respect and approval, and he wants to live happily with his parents and his dad to be accepting of his wife and future child. So I don't know, I mean, who knows? Yeah, it's a weird dynamic that this family has, but it's a mix between hatred and love. It's a fine line in the Cassidy and the Tar family, at least.
Alec's got such a huge, almost like an admiration, or at least a general respect for the human culture that is in the past, music and his wife, and it's obviously an adjustment for the rest of his family. But what about between the two of them? Like, it's changed their relationship.
Yeah, between Alec and Christy.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's he's like other young Cassidy's on the show. He was born on Earth, so he never really knew of Casti, the planet, and all he really knows of it is what his crazy parents have taught him. But he grew up on Earth and around all these humans, and he, I think, considers himself a bit of a human, and he loves everything human, down to the music and their weird kind of way about them and their unique smell and all that kind of stuff. So he's fascinated. I think that's what he loves about his wife. He loves that she's this human girl, and I think that when he sees her, trying to adopt these Casathan, culture and religion and stuff like that, it kind of like rubs him the wrong way a bit. He kind of starts thinking, that's not why I married you. I kind of married you because you were like this honest, brave human. And I don't want you to become anything like my parents, And so I think if he soon discovers about what we saw Christy in the last episode, literally dressing up like a Cassie and going off with these people, dancing with like this grandfather, let's be honest. I don't know. I don't think Alec would like that very much for the obvious reasons, but also because that's what he likes about her. He likes her human qualities about her. So yeah, I think that they're a real symbol of what the town of Defiance really is. Like that, the symbol of Defiance is, these group of people who stopped fighting in the Pale Wars and they put down their weapons and decided not to fight. So they're Alec and Christy are kind of like a nice little symbol of that. Their interspecial relationship, if you will.
So who's he going to go to for fatherly advice for raising a child?
I don't know,
His mother, his father, Ray?
Yeah, it's like he's got this crazy manipulative, like, evil mother. He's got this, like, pit bull of a killer father. And then he's got, like, this father-in-law who, like, threatens to kick his ass every Tuesday. and does. And follows through with it. And, like, gets a bunch of people to do it for him. And like, that scene where he's like lighting a stogie for me, and like he's like, hey, remember when I kicked your ass? It's like, yeah, I do remember that. And so now with the addition of Linda Hamilton on our cast, we've heard about Pilar before, and she doesn't sound very sane herself. So like I was saying during the panel, it's like it's all Alec needs is another crazy parent to join the mix. I think Julie said it. I mean, Jamie said it while we were at the panel. It's, the show's it's a lot about parenting, and they're I don't know. It might be passed on from generation to generation. I mean, hopefully Alec learns from the mistakes of all his crazy parents about how to be a good parent, future parent for his child coming on the way. But who knows? Maybe like he'll follow in his footsteps. I don't know. They don't tell me anything.
You just give the script.
So.
Now, we've seen a lot of flashes of Daytalk in Alok's behavior this season.
Yeah.
Is that going to continue? Is he kind of going down a dark path?
I don't know. I hope so. Like, I kind of like those scenes where, like, I get the script and I kind of go, like, oh, like, where can I, like, show a little bit of Tony, and, like, where can I be a little bit of Jamie? There's some bath scenes where I'm like, oh, I can be a little bit more like Jamie there, and I can kind of, like, play, like, slither around in the water, like, move through the curtains or whatever. And then, like, oh, then I can be like Tony. And I'm like, what is, you're here because like that kind of old Tony. So I kind of play with that. I kind of, like, pick and choose which, kind of parent I lean towards when I read the script.
Excellent.
That's awesome.
Since you mentioned that you like to pitch stuff, do you have a favorite pitch you've made that you really want to see happen?
Well, I pitched something last night that Kevin kind of said, like, we already did that on the show, and I was like, oh wait, maybe you're right. But Trenna Keating, who plays Doc Huel, is like this beautiful woman in real life, and we never get to see her, face. She's covered in this rubber mask all the live long day, and so I was kind of pitching. I was like, like what if like she in the same style as like Mayor Nikki got like the human skin for like an episode, and we got to see like what a human version of Doc Huel would look like, and then it got like Terminator style ripped off, and then that was one of the strikes, Kevin.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I always want more Sukar like fight scenes. Sukar is my favorite character. He's like the Arnold of our show. So yeah, I always have some ideas, like nerdy ideas that I try to pitch.
One last one.
Okay. Are there any moments coming up for the rest of the season that you can't wait for the fans to see?
You mean like Alec Tar moments, or
Yeah,
just in general?
or in general, either way.
There's like in the trailer that they showed, there was like this scene of Daytag and Stama at like a graveyard, and it's one of my favorite scenes of the series. I'm not in it, but it's just like I just love them. Just seeing them like at this like digging a grave is just like so appropriate. It's very Hamlet or very or Macbeth or whatever, but it was very Shakespearean,
Yeah.
Whose grave is it?
I don't know. Put one and two together. Alec. There's some. I have some cool like. I mean, I was very happy to have some scenes with Linda Hamilton that I got to be a part of. So yeah, she's very cool. She's like this older woman who can disassemble a gun, like any gun. You know what I mean? And so it was funny. Like before she joined our show, I just for fun, Tony and I we would joke around all day, and we do Arnold impressions all day long. So when Linda Hamilton joined our show, everyone was coming up to me. They're like, "Yo, are you gonna do the impression for her?" And I was like, "I don't know." Like I started like sweating, and I was like, "I don't know if I should." And then like I like just in the lamest way like found a way to like ask an Arnold question. I was like, "Hey, does like Arnold like make puns in like real life?" Like, and I like did some bad accent, and she kind of just like looked at me and was just like, "No."
Awesome.
So, yeah, that was a lot of fun for me. So I can't wait for her to show up on the show. Some of my favorite moments are with her, like on this season. So very excited for you guys.
Fantastic.
Thank you so
Thank you so
much.
much.
No problem,
Thank you
guys.
so much.
Thanks.